Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Life of Amulya, and welcome to the very first episode of After Hours with Amulya. For the first episode, the episode is titled Navigating Friendships in My Early 20s. In my teenage years, I always thought that friendships were the center of my world. I thought that they were the people that I would grow old with. But as I grew up, as life happened, I realized that was not always the case, and it was not as simple as I thought it would, or as simple as they show in movies. Being an introvert, friendships weren't always easy for me as it would be for other people. I never really understood the concept of having a big circle of friends. For me, friendships meant something that were more meaningful and something that I wanted efforts from both the ends, because this might be controversial, but I don't believe in effortless friendships. I think any sort of friendship has to have efforts, without which they are just bland. To quote a famous dialogue from my favorite movies, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, the more people that you let into your life, the more that can walk out. And that was something that I always felt was so true, because I feel like the more people that enter my life, I think the more chances I'm giving to many people that they can just hurt and just walk out of it. I have always been very cautious about the kind of people I let into my life, and I think sometimes people get me wrong. They think that I don't want these friendships, but the thing is, whenever I talk to someone, I expect a lot from people. I expect that lasting friendship from them, but it's not always the case, right? The problem with me is that I take things too personally, and if at all there is a fight between me and someone, I feel like that is something which will make me lose my shit, and I think that is something that I don't want to put myself through. So through this podcast, what I'm trying to do is, if there's someone out there who feels the same as I do, or who has been through something which I did in the past, it's just a reminder that, things get better, and it's just a reminder for you to know what kind of people that you need to hold on to. Maybe you'll relate to this video, or maybe you'll find a piece of advice from this video. Either way, this is just a journey that we've all been on. Okay, so I want to start off by telling about this very special friend. This was in school. Like I said, I have a lot of expectations whenever I make a friend, and that has been the case from before. For me, friendships are not like you go to a certain place, that's why you're friends. It should be like you like the person, you vibe with the person. Else, I feel like there's no point of that friendship. In my early years, like when I was a teenager, that has been my sort of like my policy ever since then. And for me, if there is a person whom I connect with, I expect that to last even after if it's a school, even after school, I expect that friendship to be there. This is one story of mine where I thought that would last after school, but it really didn't, because I had these expectations within myself and I never really communicated it to the other person, and that caused a lot of conflicts. It was more like a cold war where we were not like expressing it, but I was really sad from my end, and I didn't want to face that situation where I go and confront to the person and tell that, this is where you went wrong, this is where I felt bad, and all that things. But luckily, I ran into this person very recently, and I felt it was very awkward at first when I met this person. I was like, I don't want to be part of this drama, but eventually we worked things out. We rekindled our friendship, and I think that is the most purest friendship of mine. I can't even tell. Like, I feel so blessed every day when I wake up. Whenever I see that name pop on my screen, I feel the luckiest, I feel the happiest that, whatever happened has happened. And always people had spoken about these uh, girl friendships where they only like cheer you up, they just want to see you grow, and there's no jealousy, there's no competition. I never had that until now. And as kids we obviously had that because we wouldn't know of these things, but when we grow up it's very difficult to find such people where they are happy for your growth. So that was something that was difficult for me to find, in especially in a girl friendship. And I think the only place I found was in my sister-in-law. That is the only place where I found that there was no jealousy, there was no competition, there was no judgment. But other than that, in a friendship, I think this was the only place that I found. And I feel like if you have a person who is happier for your success than you are, and who is always encouraging you to try different things, and who is always there for you, and who is never jealous of your accomplishments, I think these are the friendships that you need to hold on to until your grave. Because trust me, in this generation it's very difficult to find such people. Moving on, I think there is another kind of friendship where there is, I wouldn't say effortless, but there is there's no validation that you need from them, that they are going to be there. It's just there. You are not involved in too much of drama with them. Basically, this is another friendship from my school which I truly cherish till date. And it's not like there haven't been ups and downs, there have been. And even the downs, they just get sorted very easily. And it's just that that person is going to last forever, so that they're going to be there, and there's just not much drama involved. There's nothing, basically anything negative involved. It just so happens that like with your parents, for example, you have arguments with them, but that you have to stay with them through your entire life. And that is the kind of friendship that I'm talking about, where that they're going to be there, they're not leaving, and that's why there's no drama involved. Even if there is a drama involved, you just sort it out quickly. So these are the kind of friendships that are really, it feels magical. And luckily, the two best friendships I got was from my school, and I feel so lucky, so blessed, touch wood. Okay, moving on. Next kind of friendship is one where it drains you down, because it's more of one-sided friendship where you stop putting efforts from your end and you don't get anything in return from the other end. It's probably one of the friendships where you will realize it after you put in a lot of efforts. You don't realize it at first, as in when you start to observe that it's just from one side. That's when you realize that if you weren't putting in much efforts, there was no friendship in the first place. So I get you, and I think I met a lot of people on the way. I feel I don't want to put in all for any one person until I know that they're going to last. And that is the principle I'm following at the moment, because I am not even in my college, if I see that there is that friendship is there just for the sake of it, if it's not going to last after the college, I just don't want that to continue. So I think these are really the worst, and I just have gotten used to it along the way, and now I have made myself peace with it, because I can't keep going and telling every time that you're not there for me, or you never call me, you never text me, or I just can't keep going and telling. If they really want to, they would. That's it, end of discussion. Okay, moving on to a much worse kind of friendship. So this is the kind of friendship where I doubted myself for 5 years, 5 long years. I doubted myself, and I thought I was the problem. And there have been efforts from both the sides. This is the kind of friendship where the mistakes were from both the end. But when I'm the kind of person that I take time to realize things, but when I do, I try to make sure that I make my peace with it, because I don't want to hold grudges against anyone. for a long period of time. I just want to make peace with myself. I just communicate my part of it, and if I have done wrong, obviously I like to apologize or make amends, and that is what I did. It took me years to make amends and make peace with it, and I think that is what matters, right? Like, you cannot build a time machine and you cannot go back and make things right. The mistake has happened. You are a human after all. You can't do much. You just leave it at that. And the only thing that you can do is actually ask sorry or make amends. But when the other person is not ready to receive that, then there's nothing really that you can do. And I think it took so I tried to make amends with this person, but I think it took me 4 months to realize that I thought I had moved on. After doing that, I thought I had moved on with my life and I was just enjoying my life on my own. And then one random day, I get to know that this person has been talking about me to everyone else. And how do I get to know? Because my friend is their friend. You feel like you're not bothering anyone but they are just bothered by your existence. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. But there's this fakeness. So you feel like you're doing good in your life, but behind your back, these things are happening. There's nothing really you can do about it. You have to deal with that on your own. But talking about a person behind their back, twisting things and telling, and having problems with everyone I know in my life, like literally everyone, that is really annoying. And I think I have made peace with it because I have understood that there's nothing much I can do. The only thing I can do is just not be bothered by your existence. And I have just moved on in my life. And if you really want to talk about it, talk about me or my friends or my family or whatever, you can do that, but it doesn't really bring anything. You don't gain anything from it. But yeah, so this is the weirdest kind of friendship that I have seen. I have made peace with this only because of my experience. Like, it has happened over and over again. And I think all of these sum up to the reason why I am an introvert, because the more people that I meet, the more I feel like distancing myself from people, because I am not trying to offend anyone, but I have seen my friends have really genuine, like, cool people who are way matured. I am not lucky in that department, but I think that's just fine, like, you don't need to have like 10,000 people around you. You can just have one person and you can just go ahead with your life. So in this matter, I'm lucky that I have a couple of people. The reason I spoke only about these 4 kinds of friends were because I feel like they have sort of impacted me in some way, be it positive or negative. I just felt like talking about these, and I know that I will be meeting more people in throughout my life, and there will be much more experiences, both good and bad. But what I have realized is that I will be learning something at the end of the day. It might hurt me along the way, but it is only going to make me better. I have always thought that having more friends means that you're doing good and you're a good person. But I think lately I've realized that that is not the case. You need to have these meaningful connections with people, because if not for that, then I don't think so. If you don't have those meaningful connections, you will not have anyone in your life and you'll basically be lonely. So even if there is one person, be it your mother, your father, your sibling, or whoever it is, if you have that one meaningful connection, that is, trust me, 1,000 times better, because there is no point in having thousands of friends. Like, that really doesn't sit right with me, and I don't agree with that. But that's just my opinion. The key takeaway for me from all of this is that not all losses are bad, some are necessary, because if they are meant to be and if they really valued you, they will always find their way back to you. And if they don't, it's just not meant to be. And I have believed in trusting God's plan. Whatever happens for a reason. Friendships are necessary. They are something that make your life richer. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope I could resonate with some people at least in some way or the other. Sometimes you feel lost, but trust me, at the end of it, you will figure something out. Will learn to move on in your life if you've been holding on to something. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Take care of yourself and cherish everyone who truly mattered. This has been After Hours with Amulya, and I'll see you in on the next one. Bye.